Today, we're in Laos exploring the Vang Vieng morning market. Then we hire a push bike and tour the countryside. While touring, we stop for lunch and then we take a Longtail cruise down the river. Join me on this great Husmeister adventure and don't forget to subscribe for more hints and tips for your next holiday. Good morning from Vang Vieng. I'm here at the little market this morning. On the main road here, there's a market that's set up every morning from about 6 a.m. And a lot of people from the surrounding villages come in, bring their produce and meat, and then they sell it down this road here behind me. There's a lot of people here. There's a number of people, mainly locals, just shopping around and buying meat, vegetables, fruit. They've got a lot of odd bits and pieces as well, but they're the only things that I've been kind of looking at because I'm really looking for a banana this morning. And surprisingly, they've got good fruit. They've even got pineapples. I didn't think pineapples grew in Laos, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, am I? They just set up in front of all of these different hotels and guest houses that are on this road, and the motorbikes come in freely, stop, grab their little shopping or their groceries or produce, and then they're off. So it's pretty lively. I like this. Good way to start the day. Once again, this is all very different to the way that we start our day in the West. These people bring in their finest produce and stock and sell it here and hope to make $1 or $2. They've probably been doing this for years. It's probably been a lifelong tradition for them, carried over from parent to children, probably to siblings. A lot of activity. And as you walk down this strip where the market is, it shoots off in different directions. So now there's one behind me. There's another one that goes in the other direction. So it's not one road. It swings around in multiple directions. This one goes up the hill a bit. So I think it's probably best dressed, and whoever comes in gets the best spot on the main road, and the others kind of set up elsewhere. Or unless they kind of they own the property behind, or they pay a little fee. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. But however it works, isn't it? It's funny how people in these countries just make things work. Yet in other countries in the West, we have rules, we have regulations, we have insurance, we have permits, and we have a lot of things, a lot of bureaucracy we need to go through before we can do things. But these people just plonk their goods on the side of the road and say, hey, you want to buy this? And I think that's what we could learn from these people in the West. We've just become too bureaucratic and too cut down in, or too covered in red tape. And that affects productivity, and it affects the way we conduct our lives, and it also affects our attitudes as well. So maybe we need to be a little bit laissez-faire at times. Message to the governments of the West. It's amazing what you come across. They even accept forms of digital payments at the Vang Vieng morning market. All of this exploring has made me hungry. Time for breakfast. So I've plonked myself down in one of the little stores here near the markets, and I decided to get myself a banana pancake and a coffee for a total of $2 Australian. So it is a little mum and pop store, and to be quite honest, I can go down the road and get a latte better than what we get in Melbourne. A cafe latte, that is, not just the milk. And a scone, or some form of croissant, for maybe close to $15, $20. But no, I don't want to do that. I'm supporting the locals. And I get to sit here and watch the market, and the view is much better here. I love the scenery in Vang Vieng, so I'm off to hire a bike that will allow me to get around quicker and venture out further than I can on foot. I'm exploring by push bike. So I've jumped on a push bike, hired it for the day, only 50,000 kip. How much is that? About $4.50 Australian. And now I'm riding up and down the river. And yesterday I was on motorbike, today I'm on push bike, day before I was on foot. It's always important to kind of get out there and explore using the different modes of transport. But I've come into this park area and I paid 5,000 kip to come in here, but it's so beautiful, it's very peaceful here. We'll tour around this national park area today. There's another rickety bridge in front of me and I'll go over that and head to the other side. Looks really good on that side as well. And the good thing is you can ride your bike around here in the park. So let's explore and see what we can find today. First stop is this park that we've come to. It's really nice, really nice. These trees provide so much shade and cover, and it's so hot out there but yet so cool here. And behind me is a stream. We've got little bridges behind me as well that connect the different rock formations over the streams. And in front of me we've got another cave that goes to the top, but I've looked at those stairs and it's Batu Caves all over again, probably worse, because this one goes up straight and then cuts across on an angle. And I've got the bike here as well, so I'm not going to go up into the cave. I'm all caved out. But what I am going to do is explore this area and then jump on my push bike and then go and find other areas as well that we can explore. I just want to show you a little bit around here. It's like a picnic area, so there's all these chairs and tables under the trees, and over here that's where that cave is. It's 10,000 kip, which is not much. It's probably about 70 or 80 cents to go up into the cave, and I paid another kind of $1 to come into this area as well. So look, it's not expensive and the fee is not the problem. So if you're into caves, sure, go in there and have a look. But I've got the push bike and I want to make some tracks around Vang Vieng and see as much as I can, and I don't want to go into the cave. Let's have a look around. I didn't go up to the big cave, but I thought I'd come down here and explore some of the smaller caves. So there's little areas of worship within these caves, and the rock formations in these little caves that are just here around the side are out of this world. Have a look at that. Fascinating caves. Amazing. It is quieter around here. There's not too many people. I think I'm the only one. There's a few people on the other side. Have a look at this. The roots have covered the actual stone or the rocks. I think it's a banyan tree, I think. Don't quote me. There's my push bike there. There's a little veranda there where people sit down and have something to eat by the river or the stream over there. And these caves are just right behind me here near the picnic area. Wow, look at these boulders, look at that. Bit more structured here today as opposed to the viewpoint I went to. That was no real steps at all. Come to another pit stop here. Just parked my bike next to me because it's hot and I need to take some cover for a little bit. But I'm next to the river, so the river provides relief. And if you look in the background, you'll see the heart of Vang Vieng. Not bad for a little town in the Vientiane province. It's really small, but it's got a lot of backpackers. There's a lot of Aussies, Europeans. I'm seeing a lot of Koreans lately as well. And they're all here taking advantage of the cheap water sports and adventure sports that are available. You can do hot air ballooning for like $100 US. That's so cheap. I'd say it's several $100s cheaper than anywhere else. You can do tubing down the river. You can go swim in lagoons. Look, it really is a paradise for people who want to do adventure or water sports. I've done a few, maybe on the lower end, not so extreme, but I guess that's enough for me. I'm not a big fan of water sports, but for me, even just riding up and down adjacent to this beautiful river, that kind of does it for me. And what I'm doing is today is I'm riding all the way around the river and taking little pit stops at areas and just checking it out and seeing what's available. There's little villages on either side with little stores selling odd bits and pieces. But coming back to this little town, it's done well. It only started becoming a bit of a backpacker haven in about the 1990s, when the backpackers started coming in and getting involved in all these adventure activities, and now it's really good. It's really busy. I don't know how else this city is going to grow in the future. I'm sure it's going to be all around the water sports mainly, due to the lagoons and the river and the hot air balloon activities as well that it offers. I think that's a major strength of this place. Beyond that, I'd say it's there's probably not much more to do apart from maybe a retreat. I saw a few people doing yoga retreats yesterday and meditation. So I guess that's another key point. So I'd say, 3 or 4 days in Vang Vieng is great. And then you can probably move on either to Vientiane if you haven't been there, which is the capital. Or you can go north to Luang Prabang, and that's where I'm going next. There's some people kayaking. Maybe not so extreme. Up and down the river, and then the Longtail boats go up and down as well. It's an interesting place. If you love nature and you enjoy getting out in the outdoors and being a bit active, Vang Vieng is for you. So I've made a stop now here by the Riverside, and I'm enjoying my fried rice, a Laos style fried rice and chicken. Looking at my food, I can see beans, I can see chicken, I can see chili. I wanted to sit downstairs, but they've got a bit of a booking going on. There's a party there of some sort, so they put me up here. I'm sitting in a bamboo hut overlooking the river from up high. Still a great setting here, I'm not complaining. And out of the sun, that's the main thing. Vang Vieng is beautiful. Such a pleasant environment sitting here on the river. If you can, and when you can, and when you do come to Vang Vieng, make sure you grab a motorbike or a push bike, or you jump in a taxi and you come and have your lunch here on the river, or dinner. I'm here for lunch. The setting is amazing. Rightio, take 2 on the river boat cruise on the Longtail boat. Today, the weather's not too bad. So we're on the river here. The river is not too deep. I've seen people standing in the river and it probably only goes to about waist height. So that's not too bad. Just in case we fall over, I can swim and get out. But there's great views all around. You can see behind me up here, there's hot air balloons at this time of the evening for sunset. Over here we've got little bars and restaurants that come alive at night. I might pop in there and have a look and see what's going on later. We've also got people kayaking up here. So friendly people kayaking. There we go, everyone's waving. And I think this is probably pretty much the tip of it. We're going to do a U-turn here. And we've got the beautiful mountains in the background where I was during my trip here in Vang Vieng. Beautiful places over there. Look, Vang Vieng is a great spot to visit. I recommend coming here and visiting. I won't lie, I think it's more of a young person's place to visit. There's a lot of young people here under the age of 25. Me, not me, 25. I feel a little bit older, but that doesn't mean I'm not having fun. I just wish I had come here earlier, maybe in my 20s with my friends, and I probably would have had a better time. In saying that, there's still things to do for adults my age, and it's definitely worth checking out for a few days. The boat's turned around, we're heading in the opposite direction. I did see some interesting things up here yesterday, which I hope are there today, like a whole heap of cows or bulls in the water having a shower. I want to capture that for you. We've got the rickety bridge, I call it, just ahead of us. I'll show you now. They're doing some work here on the river. I think they're widening the river because apparently the water in this river, when there is a lot of rain, does flood really high. So I'm guessing they're widening the river to accommodate for all of this water. As we get closer to the mountains, it becomes a bit cooler here. It's very warmer back there. Nice and cool here and greener, substantially greener. Just in the final stages of this great Longtail boat ride on the river. Very well worth it. It is a great experience. It is refreshing. It is reinvigorating. It is inspiring. It is all the ings out there. Exciting. There's another one. My Vang Vieng adventure has come to an end. Such a beautiful corner of the world that seems to do a great job of disconnecting us from our busy lifestyle in the West. Did you enjoy the Vang Vieng series? If so,
give this video a like, and if you're keen enough, you can subscribe to my channel to get some more great ideas for your next holiday. Thanks for watching the video, and a big adios from your friend, the Hussmeister.